Ladies and gentlemen, we have breaking discontinued bowling ball news. We had 16 total bowling balls get discontinued from Brunswick effective immediately. So we're going to go through all of those balls. There's one from every single Brunswick brand, by the way. So all 7 brands are getting hit by this. But it's good because Brunswick had way too many bowling balls on the market. Before this, I think they had 78 that were announced or released. So this is going to bring them down a little bit back down to earth. But if you enjoy these discontinued videos, because we are still the only ones on the internet who post discontinued bowling ball news, make sure to hit the like button, make sure to drop a subscription. Best way to help support the channel and best way to help me rush these videos out. Apologies if the voice is a little bit weird. I actually was homesick today because of just not feeling great at all. Shout out Thanksgiving and a lot of people getting together. But anyways, let's get into the holiday spirit with this discontinued bowling ball list. We're going to start from alphabetical order. So starting with Brunswick Bowling, we have 2 big discontinued bowling balls. The Mesmerize and the Vaporize are now finally gone, kind of. I expected these to go a little bit longer ago, but I think they both did well enough where they warranted spots in the bag for quite a while. The Mesmerize has been the #1 strong and smooth ball from Brunswick since August, basically. They really haven't had amazing ASIM solids coming out where that Mesmerize really did a good job at taking that spot. Now that they have the Zero Mercy Solid, they have the Max Effect, they have the Evil Eye coming out. They have a lot of other bowling balls that kind of fit that category now. So this seems like an okay time to get rid of the Mesmerize, and sales must have been low enough. But the one big negative here is the Mesmerize was super unique, and I still don't think an ASIM Solid takes what it did, because the Mesmerize was actually pretty quick down lane, even though it was so early, and Brunswick still doesn't have anything that really does that. Very disappointing to see that one go. But then the other one is the Vaporize. The Vaporize is also gone. That came out at the same time in August. Very disappointing to see that. I love my Vaporize. I actually was just throwing it in practice last night. Just seeing if I can use that as like a medium-ish pearl ball, like to step down from a lot of my stronger ones. But unfortunately, that one is also going away. So what could we replace these bowling balls with if you're not able to find a Mesmerize or Vaporize before they're gone forever? Because remember, when a ball is discontinued, you can still purchase it, but the company is not making it anymore. So there's only a limited quantity available. So if you don't grab it now, it might be sold out and gone forever unless you want to spend a couple $100 on eBay. But here we have what I think you can replace them with. The Mesmerize, the easiest one is the Paragon Shadow. The reason I put the Shadow here is it's a hybrid and it's a little bit quicker down lane. So it kind of matches that Mesmerize MO a little bit better than something like a Zero Mercy Solid. The other one on here is the Maximum Effect. That is also a sanded hybrid. That one's a little more forward rolling. So if you want a smoother Mesmerize, that's where the Max Effect kind of comes into play. I think the Paragon Shadow is probably the closest thing we have to it. Moving down to the Vaporize, though, I put the Entity Pearl here. I think those are very close together. The Vaporize has a weaker core, but I think a slightly stronger cover stock is the way it seems, because the Entity Pearl has a stronger core, but the cover stock is supposed to be pretty smooth. A lot of people are saying it's a smoother pearl ball, and that's what it looks like. But the Vaporize wanted to be a little quicker, so I think if you drilled the Entity to be a little more angular down lane, I think it could match that Vaporize pretty well. But then the Combat I have on here is like a step up from the Vaporize. If you want more of a true strong and sharp option, or to stick with the Brunswick brand itself, the Combat's going to be a good play. That's a big sleeper ball right now, but I don't think it's as close to the Vaporize as something like that Entity Pearl. That's what Brunswick has. Now we're getting into some big dogs. Columbia 300 has 4 bowling balls that are going away. We have the Rally is already gone. Came out, it is not 4/14/24. It was 4/14/25. Same with that Piranha Power Core Pearl. Both of those were 2025 releases. Then we finally have the Super CUDA Hybrid going away. This one, I was surprised to see it in the lineup yet. I thought it was gone a while ago. But then the Ricochet is finally going away. So a little bit late for that Ricochet. I thought that would go away pretty early too. But the Rally only made it on the market for about 7 months before it got taken off the market. Piranha made it about 9 months. So the Rally, as of now, is the quickest discontinued bowling ball of the last 3, 4, 5 years, which is crazy. So people really didn't like it. It is just a remake of the Speed series, basically. So a little bit surprising to see that one go. What can you replace all these bowling balls with? There's a couple stinkers here, but a couple decent ones. The Rally is an asymmetrical hybrid ball. Very, very smooth and pretty strong. Overall, I think the Guru fits pretty well here. The Guru has a much lower differential, but they're similar-ish in terms of their reaction. I think they do similar things on the lanes. Paragon Shadow is the other one. Similar to the Mesmerize, it's going to be that asymmetrical hybrid. I think the Shadow is a little bit quicker than that Rally, but I think that can be another good replacement. Now, the Rally is going to be one I guarantee is going to be on super sale. We're already seeing a lot of these balls on sale during Black Friday, so I think the Rally could get down to like $100 before it's gone forever. So that one you could probably wait with a little bit. I know there's a couple commenters who love that ball. Moving on to the Piranha Power Core Pearl. This one was really good. I'm a little surprised to see it go so quickly. But if you need to replace it, there isn't a whole lot in the Brunswick lineup. This was a high differential symmetrical pearl. Brunswick pretty much wiped the floor of all their high diff symmetrical pearls because we have the Ricochet down there and the Piranha, and then a couple later that are fully gone. So I think the only one that you can get is from other companies. So I have the Rockstar Amped on here because that is that higher differential pearl, stronger symmetrical pearl ball. I think those are pretty close together. That's where like a phase 2 pearl also fits in. But I don't think anything from Brunswick really fits. The Super Cuda is like a step below it, maybe a step and a half below it. They kind of complement each other more than take the same spot in the bag. So little odd there. Super Cuda Power Core Hybrid. Yes, do not buy this ball a second time. It's the most mid bowling ball on the market, or was. So the Alert and the Black Widow Tour V1 are pretty close in reaction. They're just more versatile. They're just a little better. Moving on to the Ricochet, there isn't much like the Ricochet either. I have the Ricochet Return here. If you want to just like super shine it and drill it a little weaker to try to mimic it, that's a decent option. The Ricochet Return is a lot smoother, though, so you're going to have to manipulate a little bit. Then I have the Phase 2 Pearl on here. I think that's a pretty good comparison. Rockstar Amped could fit here as well. So you got to go to a different company if you want that high differential Pearl bowling ball. But we have 5 other brands to cover, so we got to keep moving here. Deviate coming up next. The Heckler and the Troublemaker Solid. Heckler, I thought would have gone a lot quicker because this ball's been on sale for about $100 from basically everywhere online for a couple of months now. But now it is officially getting discontinued. It made it a little over a year, so it broke the 1-year mark. And then the Troublemaker Solid did not make it a year. This one came out in January, so this one only made it about 12-ish or 11-ish months before it got completely booted from the market. Both symmetric or both solid bowling balls. So Deviate after this has 0 solid bowling balls on the market. They have like 4 bowling balls now. I'm probably going to forget one, but they have the Severe Collision, they have the Dark Side, they have the Hater Pearl, and the Heckler Hybrid. So they're all shiny bowling balls. 4 bowling balls from Deviate. This is why you can't just buy Deviate bowling balls and make a decent lineup, because they just don't have solids, which is kind of crazy. But if you want to replace them, the Heckler was pretty close to that Guru Oracle, but a much better replacement and just a much better ball is going to be the Theorem Solid. I don't know how the Theorem Solid's doing in terms of sales. I really hope it's not going away soon, but I think that one really fits what the Heckler was trying to do. Now, none of these balls have two-handed tech in them, two-handed cores. Only the Heckler and Troublemaker do, but you can't really do anything with that right now because there's no solids you can purchase. Then going down the Troublemaker Solid, this was a weaker medium smooth ball. That's where the Alert fits in, but also the Anger Solid fits there really well. Anger Solid is one that is also pretty like sleeper bowling ball going under the radar. I think that could be a good replacement for it as well. These are 2 bowling balls you're going to see on sale for quite a while, though, so you probably have a little bit of time to grab them before they're gone forever. Moving on to Ebonite, we have the 1 reverb, and very sadly, the GB4 hybrid is officially going away. Now, I assume we're going to see a GB5 hybrid within the next 3 months, is my guess. I guarantee there's going to be a new GB5 hybrid coming sooner rather than later because they got rid of their 1 hybrid, so I'd assume another one will be coming. But the 1 reverb was by far the best 1 bowling ball that Ebonite made ever. The Encore and the Remix were very, very bad. The Reverb was pretty good, really good house shot bowling ball. The Ovation seems really good, but the Ovation is already on sale as well, which is kind of crazy. The 1 series just is not doing well for them. These are 2 more shiny balls getting pulled away from Ebonite. What could you replace them with? The Reverb, pretty easy. The 1 Ovation is just the same exact core, same exact cover, but hybrid compared to Pearl. That one's just going to be a little smoother. Drill a little bit weaker, you'll be good to go. Severe Collision also fits pretty well with what the 1 reverb is trying to do. Severe Collision is another one that just isn't getting purchased that often, but I think that fits really well into that same exact category where it's going to be that bigger core, but the cover helps round out the corner and make it a little more usable on a house shot, not too early and slow, because that was the problem with the old 1 series balls. Moving down to the GB4 Hybrid, we have the GB5 Pearl, which is going to be probably the closest one you can get. The GB5 Pearl, a little bit quicker, a little bit longer. And then the No Doubt Solid was the only other one I could think of here. The GB4 Hybrid kind of bridges that gap between Solid and Pearl of like smooth and sharp bowling balls. No Doubt Solid kind of does that. It's a little stronger of a core, but I think it fits pretty well with what that GB4 Hybrid tried to do. The GB4 Hybrid is one, if you like it, grab that sooner rather than later. I could see that one going away very, very quickly. That one, by the way, I should go back a little bit. That one was released in March of 23. So that is one of the longest standing Brunswick brand bowling balls that is on the market, and now it's gone. So now they're back to, I think 2024 is about the oldest one they have. Maybe the Black Widow series has one from that. But anyways, that is Ebonite bowling. Hammer, the effect is gone, effective immediately. No pun there. The hammer effect has been around since March of 24, and it just got axed. Very surprising. I thought this one would stick around a little bit longer, but must not be doing the best. It is officially gone. That one is a customer favorite. I assume you guys are going to want to pick that one up soon, kind of like the 900 Global Origin. I don't think it's going to be on sale in many places. I feel like pro shops and other places are going to try to stock up on their effects. This other one is crazy. This is the shortest lifespan I've ever seen for a bowling ball. The Hazmat Pearl made it 6.5 months. That's it. It didn't even make it the full 8 on average that Brunswick has, or 9 on average. So rip, I guess. Hazmat series was not a good seller for Hammer. I can't believe they made 3 of them. I can't believe they made a solid Pearl hybrid. Wild. But if you want to replace these with something else, the effect, you're going to have the One Ovation, which is pretty close, and then the Zero Mercy Pearl. The Zero Mercy Pearl, I think, will be the closest replacement. And I think that's what Brunswick wants you to go for, because Brunswick has Zero Mercy Pearl. They had an effect, and then they had the Black Widow Mania. That was way too many balls very close together. So I think that's why the effect was taking a tumble on the sales department. So that's where the Zero Mercy Pearl comes into play. Hazmat Pearl, super, super strong core of a symmetrical pearl bowling ball. It's kind of like a Zen to a certain degree, but I would say Heckler Hybrid is about the only ball that's close from Brunswick. Remember I said that high diff pearls are kind of gone for Brunswick? This is another one that they axed. So that's where like a Heckler Hybrid might fit. But I think Phase 2 Pearl, Rockstar Amped is going to be a better bet. You're going to have to go away from Brunswick to get another high differential pearl bowling ball. A little bit sad there. But let's keep on moving. Radical Bowling, getting rid of the Zigzag Solid. Okay, I don't know. That's not that big of a deal. It's been around for a year somehow. I have no idea how this ball has been around so long. Zigzag Solid was a weird one. It had like kind of like it was basically the Evil Eye, the prequel to the Evil Eye, where it had a core that was highly manipulable because of its core numbers. Like you could make it pretty symmetric or like low end, or you can make it super, super high end. So sad to see that one go. Not really, actually. That one's not a big deal. I think people forgot the zigzags existed. But the Theorem Solid and the Equinox Solid are going to be your best comparisons or best ones that you can replace it with. Evil Eye would be another really good one to replace it with. That would be a radical one if you want to stay in the radical family. That would be a good option, but it was an asymmetrical solid ball. Theorem Solid is pretty similar numbers. Equinox Solid, also pretty similar numbers. Moving on to track bowling. 3 bowling balls gone. Another quickie here with the Cypher Pearl. Unsurprisingly, the Cypher Pearl being one of the most hated bowling balls of the year so far, unless your name was X in the pit. It's gone already. It made it about 7.5 months, so a month longer than the Hazmat series. But otherwise, Criterion is officially gone. That one's a little sad. That gets rid of another ASIM solid in the Brunswick lineup. We'll probably see a couple more ASIM solids in the lineup sooner rather than later. Maybe a new Black Widow in January. I'm honestly not sure. Criterion Hybrid then, that one not too surprising. That one was super strong and super quick, kind of unusably strong and quick. Speed dominant bowlers liked it best. It was a February release, so that one made it about 9.5 months before it got pulled from the shelves. And then, like I said, Cypher Pearl, one of the most hated pearl balls on the market, unless your name was X in the pit. But what could you replace them with? Criterion, Paragon Shadow will be your best play. Evil Eye, another good option. I don't think a Zero Mercy really fits there. It's just a little too strong. This one's like a step below that. It's where the Paragon and the Evil Eye kind of fit. Criterion Hybrid, you have a One Ovation is actually very, very close. So I think that's going to be your best 1-to-1. And then Deviate Severe Collision. I also think the Criterion and Criterion Hybrid will be going for very, very cheap in the next couple of months. So you can probably wait a little bit before you pick those up. Cypher Pearl, this one's already cheap. This one's been on sale since like 3 months after it came out, it seems like. But if you want a better low-end, high RG shiny bowling ball, Crown Victory is right there. Just get a Crown Victory. Dark Side also. The Dark Side has been really good for a lot of people. Numbers are insanely similar to the Cypher Pearl. I just see the Dark Side and the Crown Vic as a lot more usable. They didn't lock up and roll forward as quickly. I think those are going to be your best options. But then that is it. Those are all of the bowling balls that were just discontinued. We kind of had to speed run through it, so apologies. Remember, you can still buy these, but they're going to be gone forever sooner rather than later. So if you want to pick up an extra, now would be the time to do it. Bowling.com does have all of these. I checked them right before making this video. So make sure to go grab one if you want one. Otherwise, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you on the next one.